Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video we are going to be moving on to part 2 of the most extreme declutter ever, kitchen edition. So we're going to be moving on to part 2 today. There's going to be a little bit of change coming up. So one thing we're going to do is remove the lip underneath the cabinets in the kind of upper level of the kitchen, because honestly it's pointless. It doesn't serve a purpose. It's also very much in the way. It's staying down the lower kitchen because it's actually protecting the lights. We've lights under the cabinets, but there's none in the top kitchen, and it just completely gets in the way. And anyway, as I mentioned, it's pointless. Anyway, so we are going to be starting off by doing that. Then and my dad's going to be helping me with that as well. Then I'm going to be moving on to the kind of top layer of cabinets up in this upper kitchen. There's a lot of kind of finicky stuff in it. More than that, this is going to take a lot of mental energy. So I'm going to get everything up here probably done today. I'm probably going to skip the food. We've one food press up here in the upper. I'm probably going to skip that because I would much rather do all the food stuff together. I also have a cabinet down in the other, the far end of the kitchen over the coffee machine. I have the two cabinets there. I want to go through loads of mugs in them. I've mugs over the fridge. We've mugs everywhere. We've mugs coming out of our ears. We have too many mugs. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to do that. Then when I'll do at the ends, I'll bring everything together, show you guys everything that we've decluttered. Again, the mic, I don't have it with me. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm looking to getting a new one, unless I get the other one to work again. I think it's just an update bug. I really don't know. It could be my little adapter. I'm going to get a new one of them first. So hopefully this week I'll be able to do that. Anyway, I also, another thing I have to do to remember to do before I forget is to, I got a new coffee machine. I got a second hand. I got a really good deal on it, so I need to get rid of the old one as well. And then we're going to completely reorganise these counters in this upper kitchen as well, now that we're going to have the extra room. Anyway, I've waffled on long enough. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm absolutely delighted to have you, and I hope you'll consider joining our community and hitting the subscribe button down below. If you are coming back, I want to welcome you back and thank you so much. I appreciate so much that you have chosen to watch my video today. As always, if you have any questions or anything about what I'm doing, drop them in the comments down below. I'm not going to waffle on. I've been talking for too long already, so without further ado, let's get started. So something I want to touch on in today's video is dealing with functional items and making things functional, making spaces functional, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit different to our usual start to a decluttering video. And what we're actually doing here is, with the help of my dad, thankfully, we're removing the little piece of wood underneath the cabinets there, you can see. He's just out there with the drill, the screwdriver attachment. Take that off, because this little kind of slip of wood, I'm not really sure what the correct term for it is. It's like a surround or something, or the framing. It doesn't actually have a purpose, and it was originally put on to match the framing of the lower kitchen, because the one in the lower kitchen does have a purpose. It's to hide the lights and the cables, because we do have under cabinet lighting in the lower kitchen, but up here we don't. And I don't know if you can see it, you've probably noticed it a couple of times, but the you can see the air fryer there, and I also have the Ninja Cream to the left of that. They are above where that kind of lip sits in the cabinet. So every time I go to use the air fryer or I go to use the Ninja Cream, I have to tilt them. It can be a bit awkward. If I have anything else on the counter, I have to like move everything out of the way. So it's quite difficult. It's quite annoying. I'm getting at it myself there. My dad had to take a phone call and I'm impatient, so I was like, wait, I'll do it myself. But we were taking that off because honestly it has no purpose, it has no function. You can also see the television here on the left. The television just clips that, like just clips it. So we kind of discussed it, and I suggested, like, can we take it off? Is it a possibility? Is it difficult to do? I didn't know how it was built, but it was discovered it was just a couple of screws that had to come out. There's one awkward screw you will see in one of the presses. I skipped it, we had to come back. It had, at some point, the head of the screw had gotten rusted. I'm not really sure how it happened, but you could see my dad there trying to get it out. It wasn't happening. But we eventually had to get the pliers at it, which you will see later on. But this simple little change in the kitchen is making the kitchen more functional. It's making the surfaces, the countertops and the area more accessible, as you can see here, because like the TV is sticking out in front of that. It's a whole thing to get the Ninja Creamy and the air fryer in, and it's just awkward, and it's limiting the way we can lay it out and where we can put stuff in what spaces. And just a simple little change of taking away something that didn't serve a purpose, that didn't have a point, that wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. Well, in fact, this wasn't really what it was supposed to do, because obviously there's no lights behind it, but you get what I'm getting at. One simple change of literally just taking this down, and really, guys, I promise it was no big deal. It took no time at all, maybe 20 minutes did it, I'd say, maybe half an hour, I'm not sure exactly. I think it was around 15-20 minutes, it wasn't too long. But taking this out, as you will see later on, has made this area of the kitchen so much more functional. Now, I don't know how well the camera is going to pick it up, I think you'll see it here, but to me, I could not believe the difference in how much more open the kitchen looked. You can kind of see it here, but in reality, it literally looks like we lifted the whole section of presses like cabinets. It's like we lifted them up like 2 feet. You can kind of see it there, where the one is stuck in that screw where it got stuck, like where, when I put that back in a second, I think, well, I personally can see it, the huge difference between having that little piece of wood. And as you can see, like, it's not a thick piece of wood. But having it on and having it off, the difference it makes to me, and it made the kitchen so much more functional. And one of the next projects I'm going to do, apart from the fact of wiping down that counter really well, which it badly needs, it's basically moving everything around, readjusting. That popped off accidentally. We were going to get pliers. That's why I was laughing there when I turned around. But I didn't break it off, and I was like, let's snap it off. And my dad's like, no, don't, you might damage the cabinet. But it actually popped off so easily. But yeah, there's me just showing you the screw, and you can see there it's completely rusted. But it just made the whole area so much more functional. It meant we could put the appliances back in close to the corner so we could access the power, because that's one thing I don't like about the Creamy and the air fryer where they're sitting, not the products themselves, where they're sitting, is there's no plugs there. So all the plugs are in the corner, so we have to take them off and put them onto different surfaces or different counters, or move them to the far side of the kitchen, which to me personally, I find really irritating. Now, obviously, it's definitely a first world problem, for sure. But it's like little simple things like that. You know what I'm talking about, like functionality and that kind of thing. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to touch on functionality today. You can see me now here going with the pliers. This was probably one of the most irritating things to do in all the jobs I had to do today. The pliers would only grip one way. It would only turn one way. And I'm impatient on a good day, I'm going to be honest with you. But anyway, we eventually got the screw out and it was fine. Because obviously, if the screw had come out and it was just like, if it was a bit of like, it was stuck in the inside, like in the middle of the wood, I wouldn't have minded, but it was sticking down through the wood. So obviously we had to take it out for safety reasons. But anyway, moving back to functionality. What I want to talk about today is functionality and dealing with functionality in relation to decluttering. So obviously I've discussed about small changes that we have made that's made the kitchen more functional. We decided to let go, there's me and my dad, we did a great job. But we made a small change to make stuff more functional. We decluttered the bottom of that cabinet. I think it's fair to say. And as you can see me going along here, anything that I think doesn't fit here is being moved. You'll see me behind the TV here. Now, unfortunately, I thought I had a slightly better angle, but I didn't. I didn't realise how much the TV was blocking. But what I'm basically doing here is I'm detaching the cables. We have HDMI cables. We have, you'll see the aerial above the cabinet there. So that's cabled in. That's just to get the stair view. We have the box there and the counter, so we have to disconnect all that's coming in off the satellite. We've got the cables coming out of the radio, the speakers, there's an Apple TV, etc, so on and so forth. There's a load of cables there. So what I was trying to do was reorganize them, move them, disconnect what I had to untangle it all to make it more functional, and getting rid of any cable that wasn't in use or wasn't, functional. Now, thankfully, I did do this a while ago, so thankfully every cable that we had was in fact in use. And it's brilliant that I even just pushing that TV back, because one thing about this area, and you may have noticed it the last time when I was cleaning the counter around the TV, was that the TV was hitting that lip and there was this massive gap of space behind it. I'd say it was 12 or 14 or 16 inches deep behind it. Now, I'm not great at viewing, kind of distances by just looking at it, but I would say it was at least 12 inches. The reason I say that is because, as far as I know, usually those bigger rulers are 12 inches, and it was about that depth. But there was all that unused counter space, and you know what I mean, the way we had the stuff kind of crammed in, we couldn't access half of the counter because of where we had to put the machines, and they had to go sideways, and you know, it was a whole thing, and blah 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 blah. But you will see later on, we do get them reorganised, and I think it's a lot more functional. I'm really happy with it. It works a lot better. Now, there is more I would like to take off the counter, but as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's not just up to me. These decisions don't just come down to me. I don't just get to veto everything and say no. Now, one thing I do want to invest at some stage is cable tidies, because this whole situation here on the left behind the TV is just a mess, and I hate it. But anyway, we're talking about functionality. Now, one thing that I'm going through in today's video is going through functional items in the kitchen. We've got all the crockery, all the dinnerware, we've some appliances. I'm going to be honest, the majority of what I go through today is cups and mugs, and it's insane, and there are so many, so many, but it's something I wanted to touch off. Now, what I'm doing right here to quickly reflect back to this is I'm trying to make the space as functional as possible for me. You're going to see me moving these all around multiple times, you know, figuring out where's the best place for this, where's the best place for that, what works for me, what works for this, what's the most functional way to do this, to access this, you know, all that kind of stuff. So you will see me changing stuff around a lot. But reflecting back and referring back to what I was saying, functional items, functional things can be very, very hard, I find, to declutter. Stuff I'm dealing with a lot today: cups, glasses, plates, bowls, crockery, dishware, kitchenware, whatever you want to call it. It can be quite a challenging thing to deal with. Also appliances, because it is all stuff that we use all the time. It's not like it's some random t-shirt that you got 15 years ago that you have in a press for this reason, because of this thing and this other thing. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people out there, and you may be one of these people, who is emotionally attached to dishware, and that's absolutely fine. There is no judgment here. That could be due to the fact that it was gifted to you from a certain person, or it's a family heirloom, or whatever. But today, when I'm talking about that, that's not exactly what I want to touch on. Now, obviously, we have to allow for, you know, sentimental items and sentimental value and all that kind of thing. There was a little bit of that in here, but to be frankly honest with you, when it comes to stuff like kitchenware and dishware, I don't really have emotional attachments anymore to really much of it. There's a couple of items, but like, it's pretty rare for me. Like 99% of the stuff in the kitchen, if you got rid of it, you know, apart from my appliances, I literally wouldn't care. Like, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But functional items can be hard to declutter, because I think we always come from them at the mindset of, well, it works, well, it's functional, well, we can use it, so we should keep it, which on a logical standpoint, yes, does make sense. But I come at this from the perspective of, you know, how many people are in the house? How many mugs do you need? How many glasses do you need? How many plates, bowls, you know, sets of cutlery, etc. Whatever insert category here of dishware that you use. Because, you know, maybe there's 2 people in your house, but you need 15 sets. That could be you. You might have your entire family over every Sunday for dinner. You know what I mean? There could be 12 of you, 13 of you, you know, or that could be once a month you do that. You do it regularly. So for you, keeping 15 sets of delph might help. But if you're not that person, I would say challenge yourself a little bit and think about the last time. When did you take that dishware set, that delph, that glass mug, etc. out of the cabinet? When did you actually use it for its function? I do not mean when the stuff is taken out annually, which is what a lot of people do, and they run the whole lot of it through the dishwasher, they clean out the cabinet, they put it all back, which is absolutely fine if that's what you do. But what I would say is, if you want to challenge yourself, go through it. Like me here, I have this pink cup. I've had this pink cup for a long time. I really didn't want to get rid of it. And I make a decision on that, which you will see later on in the video, but you're going to have to wait for that, and you're going to have patience. So it'll come up later, right? You will find out, don't worry. I'm not going to leave you in suspense for too long. But anyway, even with these mugs here, there's so many mugs. And I was like, oh, I can put them all here. I'll push them all aside. No, I can't. And then this is the thing, and this is accessible, and that's not accessible, and I can see this and I can't see that. And, you know, going through a decision-making process. As you can see here, we have these floral cups, mugs, right? I personally am happy to let them go. I'm not really attached to them, but my dad quite likes them. So I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them into, and I'm going to use this phrase probably throughout the video, and let me explain what it means. I'm going to put them into general circulation. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to have them in a show press, on show, on display. You know, that's lovely and I love that. But there's 6 of them, which to me is too many cups to keep in a unit that match not being used. They are dishwasher safe, they are microwave safe. So it's not like they're, they're really delicate hand painted, china or anything that can't be touched. Well, they are china, they're fine bone china, but like they're dishwasher and microwave safe. So there's no real reason that we shouldn't be using them. You will notice, well, there's a couple of white mugs I took out. One of them was chipped. One of them cracked there, I don't know, a good few months ago. So you will see this kind of like we've 3 of this and 4 of that. And stuff like that, one or two of them that we lost, I believe, are IKEA. They're IKEA standard stock. They're really easy to replace. I just haven't been to IKEA, which is why we have an uneven number. Now, another thing here is we're going through all these glasses, and I was humming and hawing with this and going back and forward, and I'll put 3 here and 2 there, and I do eventually find a layout for this that makes more sense. What I did discover was, you'll see me lining up the wine glasses here. I thought there was something wrong with my eyesight. I was like, something is wrong here. What had in fact happened is one of the glasses in the press there, in the cupboard, was actually a different height than the rest of them. So that was in fact the problem. It wasn't my vision. But I was going through all that, like we've all those wine glasses there. Now, I personally, I don't drink wine. I personally don't really touch alcohol. I haven't in several years. Just because I went on my anxiety medication and they're not recommended with them. So like it doesn't really bother me, which I know, I'm an Irish person who doesn't drink. I know, it's astounding. But what you call her? Like, would I have a glass of wine the odd time, maybe at Christmas? Like, I could. I haven't in several years, but like if I want to, I can. It's not a big deal. But we do have people over who like a glass of wine, who like a beer, a lager, cider, whatever. I'm not going to list an off license. You will notice here the expiry date on these is 2023. So they went out of date over like well into the middle. I think it was July 23. So like they're well into last year. Like it's not like they went out in December. So they're actually the ones I bought the year before last. And when I had checked them earlier last year, I was like, oh my God, there's so much time left on them. And then honestly, I forgot because I don't go into this press really that often. The one above the fridge. I have my crisps in there. We put like crisps, peanuts, those kind of snacks. If we buy large chocolate bars or anything, they go in there. But like they're right at the front. I grab them out. I don't really look in that press. So I was really glad to go through it because there was quite a few bits in there that we have absolutely no use for. And we will never use, and I was very happy to let go of. Because they're pretty much just rubbish, to be honest. And I just put a couple of things back in there. And I am much happier with how that looks now, because now when I look into that cabinet, I can see everything. My dad can also see into this cabinet, but it's much easier for me to see in. But this is a very high cabinet. No one who comes into our house really looks in this cabinet. Just for context of you, if you're new to my channel and you don't know this, I am 6'1". So I'm higher to the ceiling of the roof than the average person. So if you can see here, my eye line is roughly about halfway up that door. So, or maybe in line with the kind of, I can see the bottom of the shelf. Obviously you can see into it, but my eye line's just above the bottom of that. So, it's not the most accessible press. Here I'm just giving you a quick look at where we've ended up, what's left in the cabinets, how you see that's much better laid out. The counter is much better laid out. There is way more space on it for me to work, to use it, because I don't use it because there was no room. I now have my creamy. I can access it easily, my air fryer. And then I'm going to move down here. This is where all my extra mugs ended up. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, functionality, functional items. It can be really hard to make the decision to let them go. Because they're functional. They're work. They have a purpose. They're not just some random blanket and you have 55 other blankets. You know what I mean? They are stuff that we use every single day, especially kitchen items. Cups, glasses, mugs, delph, knives, etc. Mixing bowls, whatever. And I want to be really, really intentional about this. And yes, there is an aesthetic aspect to this. You'll see me going through the dog's medication there. Some of them are out of date. They're gone now. But I wanted to make this much more visually appealing. I use this press every single day. So I use this for my mugs and my coffee mugs and my glasses. I get a glass of water every morning. There's the big glass I have for that. And my coffee machine is directly beneath it, the black one in the corner you'll see. And I open this press every single day. And every time I open it, it annoys me. See those glasses, I do move them. They were in the right corner. That annoyed me every single day. And the way this press was laid out annoyed me every single day. So for me, this press wasn't functional either. Because number one, I couldn't access everything how I wanted to access it. There was loads of stuff in it I didn't use, or I didn't like where it was placed. And for me, it's become more functional because it's more aesthetically pleasing to what I like now. I've moved up the espresso mugs and stuff to the top. I don't use them very often. And I've basically reorganised the whole press so it's really functional for me. But it also allowed me to see everything that was in that press when I reorganised it. How many of those items I actually need. You'll see me a bit of back and forth here with this red mug. I eventually do let it go because what's the point? I have enough mugs. I have enough mugs to open up a mug shop. But that was a huge part of this, was going through these function items and letting go. We had way too many mugs, like way too many. Now, some of them that we took out and set aside are Christmas mugs that were taken down at Christmas and they never went back away. So they are not functional because they are making the press completely overcrowded and making it really hard to access, and making it so when you're pushing a mug and you're shoving stuff in and there's a risk of dropping stuff and breaking stuff. This press I'm working on here now as well was completely not functional. It was like we used to have this here and we used to have this here and we bought this new item and we shoved it in. And that's another thing with functionality. When you have too much stuff, you just start adding in and adding in and adding in, and nothing has a place. Or everything, say, might have a cabinet, but it doesn't have a place in the cabinet because there is too much in it. There's me showing you the lovely press there. I was very proud of them. You can see here I got rid of a couple of items. Not a huge amount, but still a couple of items. The majority of it is up on the table, which I will show you in a little bit. All of the items that we decluttered and got rid of. But functional items, because they're still functional, they still work, etc., can be very hard to let go of. They can be very hard to declutter because with sentimental items there's the emotional attachment and all that kind of stuff. But then your logical mind can kind of, decipher the difference. Like, yes, I have this, but I don't need it. Here's my coffee machine going because I don't need two coffee machines beside each other, and this one isn't working as well as it used to, and I have the new one there, that black machine in the corner, which I'm really happy with. It does all the milk and the lattes and all that kind of fun stuff. So, and now I'm just giving this a quick clean up because it needs it. But functional items can be much harder to talk yourself into getting rid of, to talk into yourself into letting go of, because it's like, but it's functional, but it works, but I use it, it's not broken. You know, that kind of thing. I think with clothes, they can be, for example, clothing can be the wrong size or the wrong fit, or you don't wear it anymore, it's out of fashion. And, all that kind of stuff. And I think you kind of find less of these reasons and explanations within functional items. Here's my kind of final how the press cabinet looks now. That I'm trying to show with you guys more, because I used to be really good at doing that and then I forgot. So I am working on it. And I have remembered to do it now. I'm just laying all this out. But like, even this table, what I'm laying out here, bar maybe one or two items, everything on this table is functional. Everything on this table works. Everything on this has a purpose, but it doesn't work with what we need anymore. And that's why I made the decision to let it go, or to, for example, the Christmas stuff is going back up with the Christmas stuff, but everything else needs to go, because although it's a functional item, it's not functional for us because we don't need it and we don't use it. And something is not functional if you yourself are not using it anymore. And here is just a little pan of every single item that we've decluttered from the kitchen. Okay guys, so we're coming towards the end of today's video. I just wanted to do a quick sit down and chat with you guys just for a couple of minutes before I wrap up today's video. So I went through a lot of presses today. One big thing I wanted to tackle was the cups and the mugs. Like, there's just too many. We'd way too many. You can see behind me here what we've decluttered. If we're not getting rid of it completely, it needs to go somewhere else. So initially these sparkly ones here, which I absolutely love them, the glitter ones, they're so cute. I was going to put them up with the Christmas stuff, but to be honest, I don't use them because they're hand wash only. They can't be used in the microwave, the dishwasher, anything like that. So I'm kind of on the fence about them, whether or not I'll keep them. I've had them for several years, and the fact of the matter is I don't use them because I'm worried all the glitter will come off and then they'll get wrecked. but like that's not a reason to keep something. That's just silly. So I think I'll probably end up donating them, to be honest. Everything here is either being donated or recycled. I made the decision this time that if it's hand wash only, it's gone, because hand wash stuff I don't use it. Like I've like a really nice big mug here, this sparkly one, and I really like it, but it's hand wash only, and because I know it's hand wash only, I don't reach towards it. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit here, when you're decluttering, to also consider the functionality of things. Like I have some really cute mugs here. I've loads of like little Harry Potter ones. I've got this little like polyjuice one that's really cute. I've got this super cute cauldron. I've never used any of them because they're hand wash only. They're not microwave safe, anything like that, and because I know that, I just don't use them. Now if you're someone in a house who doesn't have a dishwasher, that probably doesn't bother you in the slightest, because you hand wash everything anyway. But if you're someone with a dishwasher, unless it's very special to you, I would considering letting it go, because I've kept those mugs for so many, like several years. I can honestly say I've never used one of them one time. Never, ever. And it's just silly to keep them. These ones here I will have to get a final decision on. This one is mine. There's a set of 3 of them. They were a present. But the problem with them is they're not microwave or dishwasher safe, so I don't use them. And it has this metallic thing on it, and I'm so worried that that'll get scratched. That I just don't use. Actually, that one is scratched, which is funny because it's been sitting in a press for like 3 years, so I wouldn't rely on the sturdiness of them too much. But me personally, I'll be letting my one go. I need to confirm the other 2, but it's just a functionality thing. There's no point in keeping a pile of mugs. For example, these that you're not using. I'm gonna hang myself out to dry here a little bit. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's actually really embarrassing. I'm actually quite embarrassed by that. Number one, the fact that I've 16 mugs at all is mental. Okay. I know how many I've kept. I'm aware. You don't need to tell me in the comments. It's fine. You're good. No, it's solid. 17. I've just seen another one that I missed. I kept 17 mugs for over like, when did I move back here? Like 3. And that's the worst thing, I moved a lot of them back as well from when I was away. I have 17 mugs here that I haven't used in 4.5 years. 3.5 years? 3.5 years. 3.5 years? We'll say 3.5 years. I'm not sure exactly the exact dates. Maybe 3 years. Anyway, whatever. 17 mugs that I don't use. But why though? But why? Guys, I'm starting to think that's like my slogan. But why though? But why? But yeah, we have glasses here that I never used. This glass has had a chip in it for like ages. So what do? We use all the other glasses. We don't use this one. And we have all these kind of mishy, matchy, juicy glasses. Again, these need to be clarified whether or not we're keeping them. They're not mine. It's not my decision. That the glass, those couple are a suggestion. Those couple of glasses and these cups. And I'm pretty sure we agreed to get rid of these. Anyway, all these mugs here, these red mugs, are Christmas mugs, so they should go up with the Christmas stuff. They never went up. And yeah, plastic cups that we will never use because we don't use plastic cups. There is the, what you call her, the IKEA, the little mini gingerbread houses. They expired in 2013 because I never look in that press over the fridge, so I'm going to do that more regularly. Well, I do. If I'm getting crisps, I look in there, but the crisps are at the front, so I take out my crisps and I just leave it. Sorry, potato chips if you're in North America. That's what we call crisps. And also, my good old trusty Nespresso machine. She was a good goer. It's not broken as such, but it's a bit finicky. It's nearly 10 years old, I think. Is it 10 years old? 8 years old, 8 to 10 years old. It's old. It doesn't owe me anything, but I wanted the one with the milk. I used the milk, and I don't use the milk thing on this because it's, you know, I would like just cleaning it and stuff. Like, it's not a big deal to clean it. Like, you literally, it has the little dish shoki, and I liked it because it's built into the base, and it does the cold and the hot foam. And like you can see inside, like it's just a little whisk on the bottom. I hope you can see that anyway. I'll take it out. Like, it's not super difficult to clean. What I usually do is I put a bit of water in, a bit of dishwashing liquid, fairy liquid, washing up liquid, whatever you want to call it. Dish detergent, I don't know how many names there are. Dish soap, a bit of water, turned it on, let it blitz. Pretty easy. I got this one because it was on the base and it had the, so I had it all together with one plug, because obviously, you know, we don't have unlimited plugs in the kitchen. Now, it's not broken yet, so I may, sorry about that, I may still reuse it somewhere else. I have a friend of mine who maybe might like it. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna ask. This is the old Apple TV as well. I don't know why we kept that. That needs to be recycled. It doesn't work. Like, it works, it turns on, but it kept restarting itself and everything, and it's so old it can't be repaired. I think that's like that's first or second gen Apple TV. I'll tell you how old it is. But yeah, anyway, a lot of items here that we're getting rid of. A lot of them are long overdue. I wish I had more to show you. Oh, I'm finally getting rid of this. Like, the absolute gimmick of this that I love this mug because it's absolutely gigantic. Like, it's huge. Like, it's huge. I don't use it, is the God's honest truth. Is there a time where I may use it? Possibly. There's part of me that wants to stick it up in that press over the fridge and keep it. But then I'm like, I don't know. Oh, actually, I've just discovered it has a crack. I don't know if the camera picked that up. I just noticed on the inside, I don't know if you can see that, there's a black line. It's actually cracked the whole way around. That's actually made my life so much. Thank you. I was struggling with that. I'm not anymore. It's broken. I don't hold on to broken stuff. Which is annoying because I've never actually put liquid in it, and I'm not using a cracked mug because it's on the bottom and the whole bottom will come out and I'll get scalded. And we're not doing that little dance. No, we're not. So, oh yeah, just little Charlotte Tilbury. I found that on the countertop while I was doing all this, so I said I'd grab that as well. I'm really happy with the fact that we got the air fryer and the Ninja Creamy into the corner. That took a little bit of negotiation to figure out where that went. I was trying to move the coffee machine, the radio, just kind of finicky little silly things, but we managed to get it all back. And before anyone says this in the comments, I'm going to let you know, I am aware that there are 2 radios in the kitchen. I'm aware of this. I did not make this decision. I do not have control over this decision. And the reason I'm saying it is because someone said it to me the last time I did a video. Oh, you have 2 radios in the kitchen, why do you need 2? Because you don't have 1. I agree with you, but again, it's not my decision. They're not my radios. I don't own this house, so I don't get to decide that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on a rant. You know me, I'm well able to. Anyway, I'm really happy with the progress we got done today. We got everything in this upper kitchen on the top done. Apart from the food press, as I did mention earlier in the video, I wanted to leave the food stuff. I'm going to do all that together, or I'm going to do that in a separate thing. I don't want to make videos that are really confusing where I'm jumping between, you know, topics and stuff and then confusing the ever-living flip out of all of you. So I did, that's why I jumped down there and did the other 2 presses, because that's the only places that really, that there's like crockery, delph, kitchenware, whatever you want to call that stuff, this stuff. The cutlery, the crockery, plates, bowls, that's all we have. So if anyone's wondering, I know we did a lot of those pasta bowls. I already was assured before I started that that was not happening. They were to stay there. So far be it from me, far be it from me. But anyway, I'm really happy that we took that lip off the bottom of the cabinets. I hated that thing. I've been hoping to that for a while. It was put on the bottom cabinets. I may have mentioned this already, I can't remember if I did, to cover the lights, you know, the cables and stuff for the under lights. We don't have any up here. It looks so much better. Like, when I took that off and we pulled that off, I literally couldn't believe how different it looked. Like it literally just looked like the whole cabinet had just been lifted. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, I hope that it does, but like the thing is like literally that size, like maybe two inches or so. Let me just not guess a measurement. That's probably the easiest thing to do, right? It's about the width of an iPhone, okay? I'll say that. It's a bit smaller than the width of an iPhone. So you do with that information what you shall. But yeah, coffee machine, that needed to go. It's been on the counter for weeks ago. I got my other machine. I got my other machine a couple of weeks back on a place called Avers. It's like Facebook Marketplace, but we have it here in Ireland. And I got it for like a third of the retail price, and it was barely ever used, which was really cool. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting a bit rambly. For those of you who are waiting for renovation videos, it's gonna be a little while, guys. There's been an update. As I'm sure you can tell, I'm real happy about the update. Yeah, so I'm going to be really brief on this. This is a decision that was made outside of my control, shall I say. It's probably going to be September before that happens. I'm going to respectfully ask that no one says anything about it in the obviously I can't stop you, but look, I wasn't involved in the decision. There's been extenuating circumstances. There's been personal issues, not for me, for, you know, I'm not going to get into people's personal lives that aren't me. Anyway, because of that, there's been delays, that kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. It's probably going to be September. I know, it's irritating. I'm irritated. It is what it is. I don't really want to talk about it. Obviously, I can't stop mentioning in the comments, but I'm going to respectfully ask that you don't, even if you're just making a funny joke. Please don't mention it. I just wanted to give you guys that update. Again, I can't stop you, but I'm going to respectfully ask that you don't comment on it. I'm just letting you guys know for an update in case any of you are like, oh, I wonder when that's happening. It's probably going to be September. And I'm going to leave it at that. I can do a video with more information on that in the future, but I don't want to do it today because I'm trying to stick with the kitchen, the decluttering, all that kind of stuff. Just wanted to give you guys that quick update as I have it. But yeah, amazing. So amazing. I'm so happy about it. Okay, I'm going to stop now behaving like a maniac. But yeah, we got rid of a good bit of stuff today. I know it's not like as big as my other like hauls, if you will, but the last time we did a kitchen declutter, I gutted the place. Like, I was like a savage. And that was the like second time I'd done a big declutter. The first time I did a big declutter, I think was before I had my channel. I'm quite sure. Yeah, it was during COVID, I believe. But yeah, anyway, that took a weird turn. I'm glad with the layout, glad how everything ended up. Really like how my little coffee corner looks now. It looks so clean and tidy. If we're excuse me, if it were up to me, there would be 60% less stuff on the counters, but it's not. So we work with what we have and we do our best. There's already stuff being shoved onto the bookshelf. Just saw it. I've just seen that now. But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned last week, but the air fryer wouldn't fit. It was too high, and then the creamy is even higher than that again. So in case anyone's wondering, I have the Ninja Max XL, I think it's called. It's the high one. It's the quite tall one. It's the one from last year, or the year before. No, 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to share. We will be continuing next week. One of the reasons that I'm touching on the top presses, I don't know if I mentioned it, I went and got my, I may have mentioned, if I did, if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, I apologise. But I don't always remember what I say last week to this week because I spent hours doing the videos and editing and all the things, so my brain gets a bit scrambled. And the way I'm filming this as well is a bit odd, so it's this crossover and whatever. But anyway, long story short, getting back to the point, or some of you might say getting to the point. What was my point? I told you guys, I think I mentioned to you guys a week or two ago that I had a problem. Maybe I didn't mention it. Anyway, I'll tell you now in case I haven't, or in case you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about. I hurt my hip, top of my leg, a couple of weeks back, 3-4 weeks back. It didn't get better for weeks and weeks and weeks. For 4 or 5 weeks, I think I finally went and got it checked. They did an x-ray on it. There was a bit of worry that I would have to, like, that there was something, you know, more serious wrong. Thankfully, it's not. The doctor believed it's sciatica that I have, which sucks. I did try and return it. I told them I didn't want it. I told them I wanted a refund, that they could have it back, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that. So I have sciatica now, so that sucks. But because of that, my hip here on my left, it gets really tight, and it just feels like when I move it around, it just feels kind of grindy, and there's like nerve pain and stuff, which is annoying. But yeah, so I'm a bit slower doing my videos, because it takes me longer to do them. Because obviously moving around is a bit more difficult. I am getting treatment for it. That will start very soon. But I just want to fill you guys in on that. That's also one of the reasons why I was away for as many weeks as I was, because of that injury. Because it's also flared my lower back injury from before. So it's just a whole giant knot of joy and happiness. But anyway, this has been the rambliest ramble that I ever did ramble, and I apologise for that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up quickly soon because I have to go out this evening. And yeah, okay, I'm quite late. Anyway, I'm gonna edit this video and share it with you guys. Also, I have to do that. Anyway, here's the declutter pile. Not the best declutter pile we've ever done, but I think not too shabby. Here, let me move my arm so you can see all of it. I'll move over here. Not too shabby at all. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I keep looking over there because I'm trying to look at the counter in there where I did the mugs, see if there's anything that I forgot. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because I'm literally, I'm losing my train of thought and my brain's not working anymore. Anyway, that is the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are enjoying the content and want to see more, you can check out my channel by clicking below. And if you enjoy my content and want to join the community, hit the subscribe button down below. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. As always, welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back if you've been here before. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope I was somewhat educational and or helpful, and I apologise for rambling. Yeah, anyway, this has been a bit chaotic, this has been a bit nuts. I love you all dearly. If you're still here, special thumbs up to you. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and a wonderful week ahead, and I will talk to y'all soon. Okay, love y'all. Bye.